Hey, what's going on, guys? I am testing out a new method of going live. I assume that this is working okay, and I'd love to get your feedback to tell me if I'm able to get through all right. If you can hear me and see me okay, just say something in the chat. Also, please make sure you also give a thumbs up to this video. Let me hit something that I think is pretty important. If you don't agree, that's okay. What's going on, Shara? Jamal Brewer, my man, how you doing? Okay, Jamal says it's working. I'm gonna tell you, Jamal, I just made you a moderator on the channel because I respect you, man. You are a great brother. Jamal Brewer is the creator and the founder of the Black Knowledge page. If you haven't joined Black Knowledge, you should join Black Knowledge. It's an extraordinary page with extraordinary Black people. I think he has about 700,000 Black folks on that page now. In fact, let me check. Let me look at the page real quick. 658,000, and that's important. Pages like this really matter because these are our versions of CBS, ABC, CNN, etc. So if you have Black people and we got a message to get to each other, one of the things they've always done is they've shut down media to disallow us to have the ability to reach each other. After the Nation of Islam and Louis Farrakhan called together the Million Man March back in 1995, they went out of their way to make sure they controlled media so that Black people would get a white supremacist, very oppressive message from major media outlets. That's why suddenly you went from a situation where you had a lot of Black media outlets that could play, they could bring on activists and Black leaders and Black thinkers to a bunch of radio stations that were all playing the same Little Wayne song, right? This was not by coincidence. This didn't just happen, out of the blue. This happened as a result of a concerted effort by those in power, starting with your first Black president, Mr. Bill Clinton, to allow the consolidation of media, which therefore opened that door for Black oppression in terms of our ability to disseminate ideas to each other. So the first thing that I did when I left Syracuse University, and as you know, I taught at Syracuse University for 13 years as a professor in the finance department. My goal was to develop and reestablish Black media. My goal was to say, how do we reach as many Black people as we possibly can, and we can do that through technology. So that's why we do things the way we do it, and that's why it's important that you join us, tell your friends, connect, and I'd love to invite you to also be one of our VIP supporters of the channel by going to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com, which therefore you can help us support the channel, and also we'll give you lots of free stuff. So anyway, let me break down three things that I think Black voters should think about as we decide whether we want to go to the polls. I want to reiterate, I'm getting a lot, I get a lot of very healthy feedback from people who feel that I'm telling Black people not to vote. Now, if anybody who's been listening to me, you know that that's not true. I've never told anybody not to vote or to vote. I don't tell people what to do. I tell people to think critically and make your decisions based on what's best for your family. That's what I tell people to do. So, what is the threat to the establishment? What makes people like me a threat is the fact that while I don't tell Black people not to vote, I simply tell them to make their own decision. And what happens is that there are people that are threatened by the idea of Black people simply making our own decisions. There are people out here who don't even want Black people thinking independently. They don't even want Black people even acting like they have a choice. They want Black people to feel pressured and bullied into making certain decisions, even if you don't feel like it's good for you, even if it doesn't make any sense. They pressure you the same way, an aggressive, an abusive man might pressure a woman into sex, if you don't have sex with me, that promotion, you might not get that promotion. I can't control what's going to happen if you don't do what I ask you to do, it's the third date and I done took you to Red Lobster 3 times. So, given that I done spent this money on you, you owe me, and so it's kind of like a weird pressure thing where they're trying to screw you by basically lying to you, manipulating you, and getting you to make a decision that you're not always comfortable with. So I'm just here to be the one to tell you that it's okay. You don't owe them anything. Just like when sometimes you hear the feminists say, you don't own my body. You have no right to my body, no matter how much pressure you may put on me. I say the same thing about Black people, that nobody owns your vote. No matter how much pressure they put on you, nobody owns your vote. So what I want to do is kind of go through quickly. This is not going to be a long conversation. This is going to be pretty short. And I'm sitting here, I ain't gonna lie, I'm looking out the corner of my eye because I'm watching my Louisville Cardinals get slaughtered by the Clemson, by by the Clemson Tigers, and I'm hoping that they can pull off a miracle. So I got college football popping up. So that's, if you want to know what I do in my spare time, I do check out college football. I'm a big fan of sports. I was an athlete and everything else. So that's why every now and then I'm kind of like, are they winning? Oh, they ran the ball down the field. They got an interception. So anyway, that's what that is. But I'm a focus. I'm a focus. So here are three things I want you to think about as you think about what you want to do with your vote, things like that. I want to provide that counter narrative. First thing that I think that you should ask the Democratic politicians to, because really when you talk about black people and voting, you're talking about the Democrats, right? There's not much incentive for us to join the Republican Party. There are black Republicans, but honestly, I'm not a person who really trusts a lot of black Republicans, because I can understand why a black person wouldn't be a Democrat, but I do not understand why they would leave the Democratic Party and join the Republican Party. I think the Republican Party is still a little primitive. They're still very racist. They're still a little backwards. They still do things and push agendas that are not healthy for anybody in the black community. And so I can't justify. I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to dog you if you are a black Republican. I'm just going to ask you why, because the Republicans still say a lot of things that don't make any sense. And I think it's okay to be an independent, right? So anyway, three things I think you should ask anybody to cover if they want your vote. First thing is the wealth gap. The wealth gap between blacks and whites has been in existence for a long time. It has not improved in the last 50 years since we've been putting Democrats into office. We put tons and tons of black politicians in office. It hasn't gotten any better. It's as bad pretty much as it was 50 years ago, or on a percentage basis, it's still pretty terrible. It hasn't improved much. If you were to look at income levels between blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians, etc., black people were at the bottom of the list in 1967, before integration, before the civil rights movement, before all that stuff went down with Dr. King. You go up 50 years later, 2014, 2015, black people were still dead last on the list. So, my argument would be, if all these votes are making a difference, then you would have seen us rise up that list. Well, we don't rise up the list because nobody cares about the list. Nobody's trying to elevate the black people on the list. Nobody wants to talk about black people. Even your black politicians trying to get your vote, get you excited. Pay attention to how often they use the word black. Pay attention to how often they talk about the black community. Pay attention to how often they talk about things, the critical illnesses, the critical socioeconomic illness that has developed in our country as a result of hundreds of years of discrimination, right? Pay attention. They don't address that, and what they do is they kind of sort of stand up in front of you and say, I'm black, you're black, you should support me because I'm black and I'm the best option you got. And if you're not excited about me, then something's wrong with you. Well, I don't get excited. I'm not gonna lie. I don't get excited about the black politicians, because I'm like, okay, yeah, we've seen them before. We had the ultimate black politician so far in Barack Obama, and nothing changed. Black people were at the bottom of the income list, and when Obama was elected, we're at the bottom now. So I'm not really sure why I'm supposed to get excited about the black politicians. The only way I can see us being excited about it is for the same reason I get excited when Louisville football wins a game. When Louisville football has a good season, I get excited because that's my team. I cheer for that team, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, what I have to understand is that even though I'm cheering for my team and I'm glad my team is winning, my team winning or losing does not change my life other than the psychological, right? My team winning or losing does not affect my life in any way other than the psychological. Right. So you got to know the difference between what's real and what's not. And I think that black folks, because we're encouraged to have so much emotionality, we think that what's psychological is what's real, and what's real is what's psychological. And that's just not true. Sometimes it's just in your head. And you can't just live off of these emotions and this praise Jesus kind of thing. You actually have to get to a point where you focus on what is real and you know the difference between the two. It's almost like somebody who watches so many movies that they think movie characters are real people, or they think that what happened in the movie is what really happened in real life. People like that are not mentally healthy. People who watch a movie and think the movie is real are mentally ill people. They are delusional people. They are people who don't know the difference between fantasy and reality. And so when it comes to politics, black folks don't know the difference between fantasy and reality. We really believe that having that black man or that black woman in the governor's mansion or in the president's or in the White House is something that's going to affect our lives. And the fact of the matter is that the data just doesn't support that, right? So I think that any politician who doesn't address, is not somebody that has earned your vote. I'm not going to say they don't deserve your vote. That's up to you to decide. My opinion is that they haven't earned your vote yet, because they won't even address the fact that Black people have unique reasons that we are behind other people economically. The second thing I wanted to bring up was the mass incarceration epidemic created by Bill and Hillary Clinton in the 1990s. Bill and Hillary Clinton worked together. They conspired to incarcerate more Black men and women than any politician in the in the last 100 years, any ever. Like you go back, you have to go back to slavery to find politicians that did more harm to Black people in terms of destroying Black families, dividing Black communities, tearing Black families up, destroying Black community, Black people, Black people everywhere. And so, the thing is that because they have not tried to make it right, and spoken extensively about making it right, making it their number one agenda item, that shows a lack of, shall we say, a lack of remorse or a lack of willingness to really truly make amends for what they did. Black folks deserve reparations for that. We deserve a reparations bill of maybe 50 billion or something like that, maybe 100 billion, that will compensate the families that have been affected by mass incarceration, the communities. Their children should go to college for free. They should have the ability to all buy homes if they want to, and get assistance buying those homes. There should be jobs programs or business creation programs, whatever it is that people want. There should be an extensive effort to do to the Black community what they did in Europe. After they went and blew up Europe and tore everything up, they had Marshall plans in place that rebuilt everything that they tore up, right? And so if you can do this for foreigners and do this for your enemies, why can't you do this for the people who actually built your country, right? The third piece that politicians don't really address very much in terms of having explicit effort to fix this is our gaps in education. The educational gaps are pretty horrible, and they go back. Remember, your talk to celebrate Brown versus Board of Education is this time where Black people suddenly had all these great educational opportunities. But you go back in time, you look at Brown versus Board of Education, and up until today, and we haven't made any progress at all educationally. We sit in these white folks' school systems and looking like a bunch of idiots in the back of the room. Like, seriously, I mean, if the average Black child, when they graduate from college, has a reading level that is in the bottom 20% for all students. The average. This is some of your best and your brightest can't even hardly read. Some of your most highly educated Black people literally can't put a sentence together in an email. I saw that when I was mentoring a young lady a long time ago, and she went to a crappy urban school, and she read something, and me and my friend were listening, and my friend said, she can't read. And I said, but she makes straight A's at school. And they said, yeah, but she can't read. She could get through that sentence. So long story short, this is happening all over the United States. And so I've told Black people that we have to be the first line of defense when it comes to solving our problems. I'm not sitting here assuming white folks are ever going to solve our problems. I don't believe they will. I don't believe they care about you enough. Let's just be clear about that. I just don't believe they're ever going to do it. I believe your only solution is to get your kids out of the school system if you can. There are homeschool networks all over the country. There are African-centered schools that don't cost that much, cost you less than half of what you probably spend on your car note. If your child isn't worth more than your car note, then I can't help you. You probably shouldn't even be listening to me, because I can't communicate well with people who value their car more than they value their children. That doesn't compute with me. I didn't grow up in that kind of world. So, at the end of the day, I think Black people have to solve that problem. But I think that for white people, when they're asking you for a favor, it becomes quid pro quo. It's like, okay, so for example, I'll give you an example. I pay my own bills. I run my own business. I don't really want to work for anybody. I ain't going out, getting no job, working for nobody, white folks, nobody, right? But let's say somebody came along and they say, hey, boys, we want you to come work for us. I would be like, well, why? I don't really want to. I got better things to do. I told you I don't really want to be an employee. That's not really in my interest. But then let's say they said, well, boys, we'll make it worth your while. Then I'll be like, okay, well, what are you going to do? And if they say, okay, boys, we'll pay you $1,000 an hour. Well, then I'll be like, okay, I'll show up on Monday, right? Okay, let's do it. Let's get this done, right? But if they say something like, well, boys, you should work for us because your grandma worked for us, and it's an insult to your ancestors, your grandmother. You loved your grandmother. It's an insult to your grandmother for you not come work for us. And I might be like, yeah, but you're paying me minimum wage and you're distracting from my ability to do other things I need to do. Yeah. But if you don't show up on the job, then what you're doing is very disrespectful, boys, and you're disrespecting your grandmother and all the other coworkers you would have had, and they need you there, and you should be doing this for free, boys. They do that to black businesses. You ever see how people you will guilt trip a black business and literally make you feel like a criminal because you have a price on your product? I get that all the time. I get a lot of people that will say, if you really cared about black people, you would give everything away for free. And I would say, yes, I would give it away for free if black people had no money. If black people, any black person who wants, I tell you, I tell people, I'm like, look, I'll make a deal with you. Every single class I teach, every book I've written, every product we have in our whole company is yours absolutely free if you can show me one, if you can prove one thing for me. Prove to me that you have never spent a penny with white folks. Prove to me that you've never given any money to white people for any of their products, any of their education. You didn't go to college and go 40,000 in debt. You didn't go to Walmart and drop hundreds of dollars, dropping bands at Walmart at Christmas time. You didn't go and spend money with white professors who have fewer credentials than me. If that's the case, then everything is totally free. But the reality is that most of us are spending lots of money with white people, but we will guilt trip black people into feeling that they have to give everything away for free. And what you're doing is you're harming black businesses. Number one, your black businesses can't grow if you're going to give all your money to white people and then come to them and expect them to do everything for free. That doesn't make any sense. But then number two, you're asking them to do something that you wouldn't even do. You want to do it. So when somebody says to me, Doc, I think you should do everything for free, whatever. Well, I might say to them, I say, well, you got a job. You work at the post office. Do you go to work for free? Your job over at you work with that white man at Walgreens. When he tells you to come into work, do you show up for free? Is that something you're able to do? No. Well, I gotta pay bills. I gotta feed my kids. Okay, well, you don't think I have children that need? My children don't eat. What do you think? Think they eat plastic? You think they eat eyeglass cases or glass coffee cups? Like, what do you think my children eat? My children eat like your children eat. We got bills just like you got bills. The difference is my bills are higher than yours because I actually create employment for black people. There are lots of black people that we have on payroll. We pay black people, and help black families to stay in their homes, So we have bigger bills to pay. So how would you think that I could somehow do all of this if we don't charge a fair price for a service that we're providing for the community? And given that you already acknowledged that our service is superior to everyone else's service that you are already paying for, not only should you not be happy to pay us for what we do for you, given that you use the service and you benefited from it, but you should actually be paying us more if you want to be for real about it. If you really compare me, for example, I'm a professor. I teach. That's what I love to do. I want you to ask yourself, who's doing more for you? Who's teaching? Who's teaching you more? Me or the white guy at University of Wisconsin, where you might have went to college, who put you, $50,000 in debt? Who's teaching you more? Who's helping you more? Who cares about you more, right? So ultimately, I think that in the end of the day, what we kind of do with black people, we do with black voters what we do with black businesses. We rely on guilt tripping and pressure as opposed to simply relying on fairness. And I think that politicians are not fair with black people. I think that they ask you for something in exchange for nothing. And I think that they do this because you have low self-esteem. If you didn't have low self-esteem, you would do what other groups do. Other groups, it would be insane for them to go to Hispanics or LGBT or feminists and say, we know we haven't done anything for you, but you should vote for us, because if you don't vote for us, then that's an insult to your ancestors or whatever, right? That they would literally laugh in your face. They would say, that's dumb, that's stupid, I don't fall for that crap, right? So that's pretty much it. I'm not telling you guys to to not to vote or not to vote, or who to vote for, to be independent or Democrat or Republican. I'm just telling you that these are the ways to kind of analyze all this. So 3 key issues: the wealth issue in America, the incarceration issue, and the education issues. I think those are 3 things. If a politician can talk about black wealth, then that's a point for them. If the politician can talk about black mass incarceration, then that's a point for them. If the politician can talk about black educational problems, then that's a point for them. And if they can't get all those 3 points, then it's hard to really trust that individual. So that's pretty much it. Don't forget, if you want to join the League of Intelligent Black People, go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. We ask you to help us spread Black media, support the channel for very small amounts of money. If you will, in exchange, we will give you lots of free stuff. So we really take good care of you. We give you VIP access to a lot of things. So feel free to support the channel. Also, make sure you hit the like button, share button, thumbs up button before you go. And also, last but not least, if you want me to connect with you via text message and shoot you a text when I go live, text my name, text voice, the word voice, to 31996. That's text voice to 31996. If somebody could type that in, I'd appreciate it. 31996. Just text my name. And also, I saw somebody who said they're new to the channel. Well, I want to say welcome to the Terror Dome, and I'm glad you took the blue pill. But I'm gonna tell you what, this is gonna be a crazy world where you're gonna hear a lot of things that are in deep contrast to things that you've heard in other places. But I can assure you that these words come with the best intention. They also come out because I've thought about these things for 25 years. These are conclusions and things I figured out that I did not understand when I was 25, 30, 35 years old even. And even when I was 25, remember, I was teaching college students. So I was a pretty smart person when I was 25. I was on my way to getting a couple of master's degrees, all that. So I wasn't a dumb person even at 25 or 30. But even since that time, I figured out a lot of stuff. So when you tell me, oh, Doc, you crazy, that ain't true, that don't make no sense, I get it, because I used to be there. I would have said the same thing to me if I went back in time 15, 20 years. So don't feel bad. I'm not asking you to absorb it right away. Initially, when you hear new ideas, your first reaction is going to be what they call cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is going to lead to anger, really, because what's happening is I'm breaking down your previous worldview, and it's hard to let go of something that you just deeply believe in. You know, when you've been told something over and over again for the last 30 years, and somebody tells you something totally different, you're like, what? No, what? My brain. You know, like Cardi B with having a seizure. You know, I don't know if y'all heard Cardi allegedly had this seizure. I don't know if that's true or not. I got a lot of opinions about rappers and purple, drinking purple and all that, and seizures and all that. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later once it's confirmed. But you know, literally, you inside, you're almost like having a seizure, because you're like, wait, that's not true. Like, what are you talking about? So I get so many people that are so mad at me when I talk. They're like, would you shut up? And you up here telling black people, you telling black folks not to, you told Harpo to beat me. You told Harpo to, you know, what? It's like, no, I'm not trying to tell Harpo to beat you. I'm just trying to tell Harpo to help you. I'm trying to help you out of the same brainwashing that affected me much of my life. You know, I understand your anger, but I'll say this, I'll make a deal with you. If you don't get mad at me for my opinion, I won't get mad at you for yours, right? So if you disagree with me, that's cool. Just tell me, Doc, I don't see what you're saying. I don't quite get it. It ain't making no sense. That's all good. But when you get to the point where you're attacking people because they have an opinion that's different from yours, and you can't really prove them wrong, a lot of times you may be attacking them because you can't prove them wrong, and it's frustrating to you, right? Like your boy Andrew Gillum said in that debate. He said the hit dog always hollers. So sometimes I take the football and I throw a line drive and hit the dog straight in his ass, and the dog's like, "Arr!" Right? So literally, I hit the dog and the dog starts wailing, and they're like, you told Harpo to beat me. You know, they turn around, they ready to kill me. So anyway, you know, I'll tell you what, you texted DL Hughley requesting that he join you. You know what, DL is a good guy, and I know DL, we talked several times, we've done business together, and I like him, and I don't know if we agree on everything, but I respect any black person out here that's using their platform and their power to try to educate black folks. Let's just accept the fact that none of us knows the 100% truth, and I think we have to be humble in how we educate people. So if I present a point of view and just say everybody else is completely wrong, well, that right there tells you that my point of view has a lot of work that needs to be done. The biggest thing you learn when you become a professor, when you become a scholar, is you learn how little you actually know. And you need to be humble enough to say, look, this is a perspective based on what I'm seeing. This is my analysis. This is my conclusion. But I'm open to hearing other points of view. To be a good teacher, you got to be a good student. So believe me, don't think that I'm not hearing what everybody's saying and trying to understand, trying to process it. Because if I wasn't trying to do that, then I would be just as much of a demagogue as some of these SOBs run around here talking like they know everything, and like I'm the greatest, I'm the smartest, I'm the best, I'm the whatever. You know, that's not my style. I don't respect that, because that tells me that you have a type of immaturity within you that leads you to need the ego boost of feeling like you are Superman, or that you are greater than everybody else, or you're better than other people. And I think you got to learn to let that go if you really want to find the truth, because sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes the truth is not consistent with what you want it to be. Sometimes the truth is highly inconvenient with your agenda. And I think that people who can't understand that, I can't vibe with that, you know. So that's it. Don't forget, hit that like button, share button. If you're on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up button. Take a second, please, right now. Stop what you're doing. Hit the thumbs up button. Everybody, please do that. I see 46. Okay, I need more thumbs. Come on, thumbs up button. Everybody, hit the thumbs up button. Come on. There we go. 50. All right, everybody, please hit that thumbs up button, because the more thumbs up we get, the more people will see this video, because that's how the YouTube algorithm works. Good. 63. All right, we get the thumbs. Thank you. That's all I want. No caution. That's the vote. That's the vote we need. Give me your vote. Your ancestors would be disgraced if you don't give me your vote. If you don't vote, then you don't count. If you don't give a thumbs up, then you are disrespecting all of your ancestors by not giving me your vote. So come on, black people, give me a thumbs up on the YouTube video. Yes, Lord. All right, Gary Grayfield and Shy and Linda. Yes, that's all right. 95. We need to get to 100. Come on now. Come on. If you don't vote, you don't count. If you don't vote for me, then Donald Trump will be in office again, and it'll be all your fault. Come on now. Come on. I need to get to 100. I'm in 97. We almost there. Take a second. Hit that thumbs up. 99. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. Come on. Everybody. Sandy, did you hit it? Cartoon Convict. The family of you. There we go. 101. All right. Let us pray. Dear Lord, let us please pray for all the backward Negroes out here who just don't get it, Lord. Let's pray for their souls. Let's pray that one day they open up a book and they stop watching MSNBC and Fox News, Lord, and that they quit believing that the Democratic Party and white Jesus is the solution to black problems. Let's just pray that one day, as black people, we will not just teach our children that the best way to get ahead economically is to go get a job working for the very same white man who cut off their great-great-great-grandfather's balls, but instead they will believe in freedom, God, that they will push for something better, that they will actually want their children to be educated at the highest levels, but not trained in a white excellence kind of capacity, not trained to believe that white people are better, but trained to believe that black people are the greatest people on the earth. God, please help them understand that it's wrong for black people to hate blackness as much as we hate ourselves. God, please help us work with the broken Negroes and help them realize that it's okay to be black, and that being black is the best thing in the world, and that if we stick together, we can do anything. Help them to learn that it's not good to be a black Klansman, because you know, Jesus, that we got black Klansmen all over our community who are some of the biggest white supremacists that I've ever seen. So Jesus, please help these people. White Jesus, please help them to grow and to learn that ain't nothing wrong with being black. Yes, Lord. All right. May the church say amen. Amen. All right. I'm going to go. See, y'all need to stop. Y'all got me up here acting crazy and stuff. Oh, by the way, this weekend, I am running a 9-mile race on Sunday. And I'm going to tell you guys about the race. It's going to be long, but it's 15 kilometers. So yeah, I really might need y'all to pray for me for real. So anyway, I'll see y'all later. And if I offended anybody with my little stupid prayer, forgive me. Just chalk it up to me being ignorant. Sometimes you get so frustrated, you gotta laugh about it. You gotta laugh. If you don't laugh, you're gonna go crazy. You're gonna have a freaking aneurysm or something. All right, guys. Well, take care. Anita Watkins, you might be my cousin. I got 1,000 cousins, so you're probably one of them. So good to see you, cousin. All right, guys. I'll see you soon. Okay, Sandy Ali says hydrate well. Yes, I will. I will go and drink some water right now. Love you, Vicky Dillard. Good to see you again. And I hope you're feeling better, sister. You are such a firepower that we need you 100%. So anything I can do, you let me know. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Don't forget, intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. See you guys soon. Peace.